Hey guys, how's it going? If you are struggling to build speed or play fast, one of your issues is very much most likely that you are tensing up while you're playing. And tension absolutely kills speed, but we tend to do it when we want to go fast. So today I'm going to show you how to relax both of your hands so you can achieve some higher speed. And I'll be showing you the exercise that I just played, which should hopefully help in your practice as well. So let's check it out. Right, so when we want to play fast, it's both hands that are the problem. Often the picking hand tenses up and the fretting hand also tenses up. So firstly, we're going to look at the picking hand and how we can help minimize the tension and promote a more relaxed picking technique. So when we're picking slowly like this, right, you can use any size picking motion and it doesn't matter, right? They can be these massive picking motions and it's totally fine because you have enough time to pick like that. But we know that when we speed up, we can't get away with these big picking motions anymore, and instead we want these small concentrated movements. But what we do is counterintuitive, because to get those small concentrated movements, we end up locking up the hand and the wrist and we start picking from the elbow. Now don't get me wrong, you can pick very fast this way and there's a lot of shredders who do actually do this. But most of the time when we pick like that, we get this very inconsistent picking. It also wears us down very quickly and we can't do it for long. So in my opinion, the first thing we want to do is get a good anchor point on the guitar. Now everyone anchors in different ways. Some guys like to use the fingers and anchor under the strings like that. For me personally, I use my forearm and lightly rest it on the guitar. But we really want to make sure that we're not pressing into the guitar with our forearm, because all that does is promote more tension. Right, so once we anchor our forearm there, it will allow us to use more of the wrist, right? It naturally opens itself up for that. The next thing we want to do is make sure we are angling our pick, right? If we're going straight onto the string, it might be harder to have a relaxed picking approach because there's so much resistance. Right, so we want to just angle the pick in such a way where we can go down and up and it's the same consistency. Another thing that can be helpful to remember is where on the string we're picking. If we're picking closer to the bridge, there's more tension on the string, which helps us get more consistency. Whereas if we pick too far up here, obviously it's a lot looser, which might make it harder. Right, so now we're all ready to pick, but how do we actually pick fast in a relaxed way? Well, the best way to practice is to pick slowly and then do little bursts of speed, really focusing on just the wrist movement. So just as relaxed as possible, pick a note. I'm going to do the 9th fret on the G string and I'm going to play it slowly. And then I'm just going to throw little speed bursts in there, making sure I keep the same relaxed technique with the picking hand. If you do bursts of speed and you find that you're immediately locking up, then it's cool. Just take it slower, slower, slower. And then eventually, as you speed up, you'll find you're able to pick the same way fast as you are slowly. So now onto the fretting hand, because we know that tenses up as well when we want to play fast. So let's look at some ways we can minimize that. The first thing to look at, in my opinion, is your thumb. I personally find that the thumb is happiest when it's in the middle, like in the center of the back of the neck, behind your other fingers. Now it's completely normal when you're playing on the higher strings, the thumb does want to come up a bit and that's completely fine. And when you're playing on the lower strings, the thumb wants to go down and that's also completely fine. But I also find that if the thumb is coming too far over, it changes our hand shape completely, which can cause tension, as well as when our thumb is dragging behind, right? If we're playing up and down the neck and our thumb is dragging behind like that as well, that change of hand shape really has an effect on how relaxed we can play. So then the next thing to look at with our fretting hand is how hard we're actually fretting down on the notes. I really just need to put enough pressure so that the notes will sound. And also have a look at your fingers. If they're flailing around too much, that could also cause tension because you know it's going to take longer for you to get back to the fret, so you overcompensate by really hammering down onto the fretboard when you're playing fast. All right, onto the exercise. The whole thing is very simple. It's going to be in A harmonic minor and we're going to do all of it on the D string. And picking wise for this exercise, it's all going to be palm muted. Now you don't have to practice this palm muted, but the reason that we're doing this is it provides an extra anchor for our picking hand, which will encourage us to pick consistently, which will allow us to pick in a more relaxed way. So just lightly with your palm, you're going to rest it over all the strings close to the bridge, as close to the bridge as you possibly can. So then with our fretting hand, we're going to be playing 10, 9, 7, 7. Except it's going to be palm muted. And we're going to repeat that 4 times. And all of this is going to be alternate picking, so it's going to be down, up, 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 down, up. And then we're just going to move our fretting hand over 1 fret. We're going 1 fret down, and we're going to be playing 9, 7, 6, 6. And we're going to repeat that 4 times like we did with the other one. And we're just going to be going back and forth in those 2 shapes for as long as you want, at any speed you want, but it does help to start a bit slower. A very important thing when picking this exercise is to use accents, and what I mean by that is we're going to play some of the notes a little bit harder and a little bit louder than the other ones. So if I exaggerate it, it's going to be... Right, you hear that first note is accented. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. When I'm playing faster, I don't really want these very loud notes, and I don't want to be wasting too much energy trying to accent the note, but it does help when we speed up. It gives our brain a bit of a reference point for our picking hand. So start by playing the exercise slowly, making sure both hands are relaxed. With your fretting hand, make sure you're only putting as much pressure as you need. With your picking hand, make sure you have it in the position that you are most comfortable with. And at the end as well, you can do a pinch harmonic on the 7th fret of the D string. Right, that's a good one to end on. Alright guys, but now it's time for you to go practice, so that's all from me. I really do hope that this video helped you in some way or another. If it did, please consider leaving a like or a comment. That really helps me out a lot. And of course, if you would like to see more, you can always consider subscribing, and I really do appreciate it. Otherwise, good luck with your practicing, and I hope you all have an awesome day further. Cheers.